Hey Monica, so where are we?
Hey Jesse, so we are right at the end of 38th Street, the famous 38th Street in Playa del Carmen. My name is Monica. I'm a real estate advisor with Mexico Realty Brokers, and today, Jesse, what are we doing?
We are talking about Playa del Carmen real estate.
Awesome. So ask me the first question.
Okay, so I have to ask, who is buying Playa del Carmen real estate?
So I think the majority of buyers in Playa del Carmen right now are foreign investors, and those are Canadians, a big majority of Canadians, and also a big majority of Americans too. One, I think because of the close proximity, geographically it's so close. So you can, if you're from Montreal, it's about a 4-hour flight. If you're from Miami, it's about, an hour and a half. So anywhere in Canada or the US, it is so close. And then also I think economically people are moving down here because in their respective countries, things are getting really expensive. I'm a Canadian and I know how expensive things are getting. The home prices are just out of control, just basic food prices are just insane. So I think that that's really motivating people to look elsewhere and kind of buy some real estate down here. And I think another reason is just, it's this weather. I mean, how could you not want to live here full time? So if people can make it happen with their jobs and with their situations, I think it's just a no-brainer to come down here, live a better life, better cost of living. You are in a location that is still very close to home, and you can afford all the basic goods and services that you would maybe not have back home. So I think it's just a no-brainer for Canadians, Americans, and honestly, we even see a lot of Europeans, a lot of Russians. There's a big Russian community as well. So I think that's a big majority of the people that are buying down here. Okay,
and you said it a minute ago, but I want to know, where are they buying? I want to know locations of Playa del Carmen.
Absolutely. So locations of Playa del Carmen really depends on a lot of different factors. So depends on your budget. If your budget, I would say, is anywhere below 200,000, 150,000 US dollars, you might need to buy something on the other side of the highway. So Playa del Carmen is situated kind of east side of the highway, which is what we call the beach side of the highway. And that's really where all of the Americans, Canadians, foreign investors, they want to live because you have the access to the beach. However, if you have a smaller budget, you're really limited to the types of properties that you can buy if you wanted something that has a larger space. Now, obviously studios, if you wanted to live in a studio, you can definitely manage with $150,000. However, it's getting a little bit tight.
Well, I want to go a little bit further into this.
Okay.
We are on 38th. Why does 38th stand out?
I mean, 38th is one of my favorite streets, and it's most people's favorite streets, and rightfully so, because there's so much greenery, there's so much nature. The way that Playa del Carmen is kind of situated right now and how it's been built is there's a lot of building. They're building a lot, and they're not preserving the nature as much as I think we'd all hope and wish. And so 38th Street is really, you see the preservation of all this natural beauty, all of the trees. It's like this little jungle oasis still in the heart of the city of Playa del Carmen. So I don't want to say that Playa doesn't have a lot of nature, but if you're coming from Canada or if you're coming from the US, you're used to a lot of parks, a lot of green nature parks, hills. Playa del Carmen doesn't really have that, so having this street is so beautiful. And you have amazing restaurants, you have nightlife, you have little boutique shopping, great coffee, and then obviously you have the access to the beach right down there, which is spectacular. So that's really why 38th Street is so amazing. And I think if you were to buy real estate anywhere near here, the potential for capital appreciation in the future, because there's so much limited green space here, to have access to that close to where you buy, I think is very important.
There you go, this is getting interesting.
Yeah. It's busy.
went a little bit into the areas. You and I shoot luxury real estate.
We do.
Where can we find luxury real estate in Playa del Carmen?
So luxury real estate in Playa del Carmen, the best area to look for if that is what you're looking for. And if you're looking for luxury real estate, you're probably looking for security and privacy as well. So Playa Car would definitely be the area that you would want to be looking you would want to be looking at. Obviously, look at 38th Street. This is why we love it so much, is because there's so much life. This is Sunday afternoon, so I think Playa Car would be a fantastic option for you. If you wanted to look for a single family home, then Playa Car again would be a fantastic option.
Okay, so I've heard a lot about Coruscant.
Coruscant, again, is a beautiful, beautiful gated community just north of Playa del Carmen. It's about a 7-minute drive north of Playa del Carmen. One of the most exclusive gated communities that you can get into. Now, the starting prices to get into Coruscant, you're looking at, you need at least $450,000 to access that kind of community. So you do need a somewhat of a higher budget, but it is still quite attainable and quite affordable, especially if you're used to, New York prices or Vancouver prices. But it is a fantastic community. You also have access to the Coruscant Beach Club.
We've noticed that there's a ton of investors coming down. They have to have an exit strategy.
Yes, exit strategy is crucial. I think that's one thing that a lot of realtors and a lot of people really overlook here is what will be my exit strategy when I want to exit the market, let's say in 5 to 10 years. Now, it really comes down, and a lot of people ask me as well, how long does it take to sell my property? It really depends. I think you can sell your property anywhere from a month to 3 weeks if you're very lucky, but the typical average I would say is 6 months, even all the way up to a year. And the reason being is it usually comes down to 3 points, and that's one, location. I think location is critically important, right? Like I said, 38th Street, if you're somewhere close to nature, you're close to a park, you are, close to somewhere where it's very attractive and also not very noisy, then that's very important, right? Location also means that you are putting yourself into a property that doesn't have the potential of having too much construction. So maybe, let's say 5 years from now, you want to sell. Is there a bunch of lots that might be developed that would maybe prohibit you from actually selling your property because there's so much noise? And then I think the second reason is your property doesn't show well. And so what does that mean? Your property doesn't show well. It could be a few things. Your view is not great, your decor is not great, and it can also mean your property looks like everything else on the market. Now, here in Playa del Carmen, most things come fully furnished because of the fact that it's a lot easier. Obviously, we don't have HomeSense, we don't have IKEA here, so it's just easier for foreign investors down here to buy furnished properties. But that also means that you could potentially be buying in a building that all of the units are furnished exactly the same as yours, so it doesn't show well because you're competing against all of these other properties that look exactly the same as yours. So that's one thing to consider. And then I also think another thing is the price. Obviously, if you're priced too high, you might be priced out of the market. So that might be a reason why your property is not selling. And then third, right, your exit strategy is who's actually listing your property. So having the right real estate agent and real estate brokerage listing your property, making sure that it's marketed to the right people. We don't have an MLS here, so it's not as easy as just posting it. And knowing that you're going to have the right eyes on your property, we have to be very creative in our marketing process and also with the brokerages that we do business with.
Okay, so I have to ask, you've been talking to me about builds in Playa del Carmen, Cancun, Tulum. Investors are looking for pre-constructions. What should they be looking out for?
Definitely. So I think that there's a lot of moving parts when you're looking at pre-construction. I think a very important thing, especially as a real estate investor, is to make sure that you're getting into a property that has a competitive price per square meter. And what I mean by that is, are you getting into a property where the price per square meter is below average or maybe average to what other pre-sale developments are going for, or are you getting in at the top end of the market? Obviously, if you're a real estate investor, you know that the purchase price of the property greatly defines how much ROI that you can make. So knowing that price per square meter and doing market research, determining if you're actually getting in at a good price and a good deal for you, and doing the numbers based on that if it makes sense. So that's really important. Another really important thing to look at is who the developers are. Now, obviously during COVID, during the COVID, there was a lot of hype around Playa del Carmen, a lot of hype around Tulum especially, and I think a lot of developers came in knowing that there was a lot of opportunity. Now, not to say that all developers are bad, but there are some developers that have more experience here than others, and I think that there's also more developers that have a track record of great projects that they've built. So I think it's really important to have a great legal team doing due diligence on the pre-sale investment and the developers who are building, making sure that there's no liens, making sure that they are who they say they are, that they actually own the land that they're building on, they have all the permits, et cetera, et cetera. Those things are very crucial, and also making sure that you know what are the past projects that they've made. Have there been any delays on their past projects? Just so you have an idea of what to expect and you know what to look for.
Or is there anything that we kind of missed?
What is the full picture when people are looking for a real estate investment down here? Now, ROI depends on a lot of different moving parts. So a lot of the time when people are giving you projections on properties, they're not including the closing costs, they're not including the trust that you need to buy the property. If you are a foreign investor, you need to buy it within a trust. So maintaining the trust is about $700 a year. Also the property management fees, also capital expenditures. Are you going to need to fix a toilet? Are you going to need to fix the AC? Those are things that you have to include in your ROI projections as well as things as are you financing? You know, there's so many costs related. Do you need to put new furniture? You know, is the property that you're buying fully furnished? Do you need to buy cutlery and make everything so it's Airbnb ready? The photography, all of those costs are crucial costs in determining your true ROI. So if you are interested in knowing what the true ROI is, obviously here in Playa del Carmen, everybody wants to do short-term rentals. So there actually are better investments out there if you're looking for ROI than short-term investments. So if you're interested in knowing what they are and potentially having, you know, me underwrite a deal, or if you want more information, my contact information is right down here. You can give me a call and we can definitely discuss.